this way, that way, up here, down here, and here we are. Yeah, it's the six past commandments. But we here, man. I might got to put the hoodie on for this. Might got to put the hoodie on for this, man. This is getting worse. Well, hold on, let me zip up real quick so that when I start getting a little bit loose, you know, we ain't too far off. This starting to get worse and worse and worse, man. Six past commandments, man. Six past dice, Mr. Lane. If you need me, we here, man. We are here. We are here to keep. Now again, I'm not really neutral on it, but I guess I don't really have the strongest opinion. All I can say is look bad. It's looking bad for sure. It's like every single day, it's like more and more things coming out, more and more people speaking out, and now we got the main homie. You know what I'm saying, the god of Banana Republic. You already listen. Sarah Garvey at Sarah Garvey. Shout out to Sarah Garvey. Sarah Garvey has a $2,000 credit limit at Banana Republic. You see how starched his pants is? Listen, I've never seen Slack so responsible on a man. This man dresses responsible. Yeah, you know what it is? I guess on some level, we're not even used to seeing a man dressed this much like a man. Like you already know he got things he gotta do. You know what now? Sarah Garvey dressed like one of those people that you think they got an important job, but they may not. I mean, who knows? It's all good. Anyway, shout out to Sarah Garvey. Shout out to him. Nah, man. Listen, we just making jokes, trying to make light of everything. But shout out to this brother, man. He shed a lot more light on the situation. So anyone who why I still have my headphones in? Anyone who watches the content has seen Mrs. Sarah Garvey on the panels on Pearl's show. Start seeing him a little bit less, actually. Now again, I don't think a lot of people follow all of her videos. It wasn't like when Kevin Samuels was alive, and you kind of, for the most part, look forward to these shows, and you tuned in to all three of them every week. He did 3 shows a week, 3 live streams a week, and you tuned in to all 3 if you followed the content. But with Pearl's content, it's like if you've seen one show, you kind of see most of them. Once you kind of watch, I would say maybe like 3 or 4 panels. It's kind of the same thing. It gets to a point where it becomes like a game of seeing if we can get someone who has a feminist mindset, a gynocentric mindset, to kind of blow up and then give us some more content, because to a certain degree, it's kind of similar to how Fresh and Fit is. You go on Fresh and Fit to a certain degree. Fresh and Fit are inviting a lot of the kind of women that the red pill space talks about, which is women who may have an OnlyFans, they may be in the life, they may have a sugar daddy, they may be one of those first date scammers. Now, if you've been dating out here in the last 5-6 years, you know what a first date scammer is. It's somebody who will go out with you with no intentions on getting to know you, don't like you, they're just coming out with you for a free meal. But they kind of invite the kind of people who fit that archetype, that stereotype, of the modern women that really just doesn't know what's going on and is super unclear to her purpose in terms of the dynamics of a relationship and society in general. So it kind of creates the not the groundwork, but it provides the environment for there to be content and for there to be a big disagreement, and for the host not to so much school the people that's on there, but kind of make them look stupid because these people are not the most self-aware. They know where they're coming from. They know that, they know how they're moving. And so obviously the host and the guests are going to bump heads the same way with Pearl's show. Now again, with Pearl, I would say Pearl masterfully she's like a mutant level Karen. If Karens were like mutants and whatnot, you had Omega level and whatnot. Like, listen, like her level of Karening is up there. Because I mean, when you go through all her content and whatnot, she's managed in every conversation to kind of walk the line where you kind of be like, hold on there, Pearl. Yeah, but she's not aggressive about anything she says. I remember there was footage of her and Sarah Garvey, and it was, and they're talking about slavery, and here comes Pearl chiming in saying, yeah, a lot of the slaves, not every slave owner it wasn't always as simple as letting them go. Sometimes you inherited the slaves, and if you didn't take them in, or if you didn't keep them, they wouldn't have anywhere to go. And it's like, even if that was the truth, it looked crazy for you as the whitest girl we've ever seen to speak on it. No one asked you to speak on it. No one needs you to speak on it. Why do you feel as though you should speak on it? It's just weird. It's super, super weird, man. It's that listen, that would be like me having a cousin who stole my car years ago, right? And then years later, now mind you, I done forgave him. I let it go. You told me doing something different with your life and whatnot. And here we are, years later, and we're talking about right from wrong and whatnot. And here this person comes with, I don't know, just some kind of like lecture on why you shouldn't steal and all this type of stuff. It's just weird. It's just weird. I know that wasn't the best analogy, but you get where I'm going with it. You know what I mean? But it's just weird. It's more weird than anything else, unless these are your beliefs, unless this is how you strongly feel about this subject, because you either have been talking about it, you talk about it behind closed doors, or your family has educated you in the way, or the circles you run in talk about these things. Because only a person who has thought about this and feels strongly about these things would feel as though, you know what, I'm going to put myself out there in front of a room full of black folks and make an argument for slave masters. That's a bold move. It's a bold move. Yo, that reminds me of the episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Marty Funkhauser is on this this tip about really being like a traditional Jew that wears like his yarmulke and all that, and there's a Palestinian chicken place that opens up in the area and everything, and Larry starts eating there, and because it's supposed to be someplace that Jewish people supposed to never go. They able to keep. He saw some friends of theirs having an affair there. There was this whole thing. There was like a protest rally with for all the people with the local Jewish population there and whatnot. But the part I'm talking about in terms of the bold move was when Larry finally convinces Marty to come. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the people, his friends, are Jewish. They're like, yo, we're not going over there. We're not going to that place. So he convinces Marty to come. And when Marty comes over there, he's wearing his yarmulke. And he's like, yo, you got to take off your yarmulke, bro. You like it's he said it's far too cocky of a move. And then throughout the scene, comedy ensues, and you got Larry like wrestling to try to get the yarmulke off his head because the chicken there is so good that he's willing to wrestle with his friend and violate their shared religion to get up in there, right? And then you'll see the people in the restaurant, mostly Palestinian, and they're watching from the window. And when Larry comes inside, they cheer him on. Of course, it ends with Marty taking his yarmulke back and storming off and leaving. Then when Larry comes in there, everyone's clapping, for him, because they see him fighting to get this guy's yarmulke off. But anyway. Like, yeah, so it was just this far too cocky of a move. We were just like, yo, where's your respect level for this room? That again, I don't know, man. Listen, I'll be telling everybody I love around me and everything like that. Listen, I don't want to cuss too much in the channel, but I have to share my philosophy with y'all. Everyone sometimes needs to shut the F up. Everyone has to shut the F up. There's no one in the world where they never have to shut the F up. Everyone has to watch their mouth. Everyone got to be able to control themselves. Even when that happened, I was like, why did you feel as though you had to say that? So again, like we've got this long timeline of these subtleties, And again, I never really had a problem with Pearl's content. I never really felt like she was doing anything bad or her content was bad or harmful towards people of color, but there has been a pattern though. Now, I don't agree with, I don't think that people kind of ignore the fact that, hold on, guys. Excuse me. I do think that when people make this argument, they ignore the fact that she's not in control. I don't say not in control. When we look at the demographic of the people who come on the show, it's not just black people. Okay? it is a wide demographic. I've seen a lot of white guys on there, white girls on there, mixed people, Hispanic people, all types of people have been on these panels and whatnot, but so we can't say that it's just she's only bringing on feminist thinking black women on there and whatnot. But I will say at the same time, she kind of knows what's going to happen when you bring certain kinds of women on this podcast. Now, going to our guy Sarah Garvey, right? So Sarah Garvey, he posted a video the other day. Let's see how old the video is now. The video is 2 days old. Excuse me. It's 2 days old, and and it's entitled "The Truth About Pearl," right? And he was talking about how he feared that she may have a colonizer mindset, which is wild, which is really wild. So one of the points that came up during her interview with Nick Fuentes was her using terms such as "my Africans," and she started to make a point about how people overseas work harder than those who are from America. A lot of people felt as though she was talking about African Americans and pitting African Americans versus Africans. It's like, yo, you're on that line. This is not good. It's bad. It's not good. And Sarah made a good point about this is an age-old tactic of white people pitting African Americans versus Africans, whether you meant to or not. It's like, man, for you to have a profile this high, you should know better when speaking on African American people and just black people in general. You gotta watch yourself, because look at all this trouble you in. And now remind you, Pearl, if you would have just shut the F up, none of this would have happened. This is no way. I gotta change the title of this video to a lesson in learning when to shut the F up. You know what? Hold on, guys. Let's do that right now. All right. So we changed that. Is at Just Plug Things, Colonizing YouTube, a lesson in knowing when to shut the F up. Okay, perfect. I feel much better now. So the next point that we want to get into is when Sarah is addressing the colonizer mindset, right? Now, again, we can't look at what someone just says. We have to look at what they're doing, okay? So he gets into a story about Pearl asking him to do a news segment. Well, I'm sorry. First, he touches on comments that she made in regards to reparations and whatnot. Now, mind you, I'm not sure why you would talk to her about it and everything, but it's getting clearer and clearer that it's like, yo, we can't make an argument that you're not playing dumb with everything and leaning on what people's assumed perception of innocence of you is. And again, you know what, too? What Pearl is doing, she's showing y'all the power of being a nice girl. When you are a nice girl and you're not loud, not forceful, make people do stuff and stuff like that, you can essentially, how can I put this? You can do shit like this, where you leave a little space to where someone can still defend you, or you can say, I didn't know, I'm sorry and whatnot. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, you doing an apology. First of all, we're gonna have to do a skip video. Who told you that when you are involved in something so egregious that you should do an apology from your bedroom on your laptop? She didn't even turn on any of the cameras in the studio. She just turned on her webcam and just talked to the webcam. I'm like, yo, when people make apologies, listen, they made Chris Brown put on a bow tie to apologize, I think. You know what I mean? We went on Larry King, they made that nigga put on a bow tie and the tightest sweater ever, so that we knew he was sorry. Okay. He at least went on a platform, some kind of platform. You straight roll out of bed. No, you went to Starbucks first. You went to Starbucks before you apologize. You went to Starbucks first, okay, and then say, you know what? Let me go ahead and tell these Negroes that I'm sorry. She probably called these Negroes in her head or called Negroes in private. She would say, let me go ahead and tell these Negroes I'm sorry. It's all good. And it just looks insincere. Like what should have happened was you should have put on your best ankle length dress, okay, your best ankle length dress. You know, go in the studio, sat in the center chair, crossed your legs, leaned back, you know, and gave a heartfelt apology, you know, and acknowledged your audience, okay? The people who made you what you are and made you popping, okay? The late great Kevin Samuels, who pretty much created the content that you kind of replicate. Which, you know, I never had a problem with that either, because I never looked at Pearl as this creative visionary or this person that I had a bunch of belief in. I saw it as entertainment. I don't look at white folks and black faces and say, this is our sister, we can depend on her, and da. This is his business, like it always is. I'm not sure why people of color didn't say it that way as well. This is always business. What are you surprised about? I do think it was stupid, really stupid, to have a known racist on your show and then talk to him like y'all kicking it. And then we got audio. Are you saying you think he's cute and you would date him? You listen, you got a name. You know better than that, unless you don't give a F. And it's starting to feel more and more like you just don't give a F. You know? So I want to go ahead and share this video. Shout out to Sarah Garb. I want to share this video. I want to share the last part where he talks about the contract that he was offered and when he found out what other people who were contracted with Pearly were offered. Okay, we want to just play that part because we're at 16 minutes already. So we're going to play that part, we're going to upload and whatnot, and I want you guys to leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys think? Do you think people are reaching? Do you think that she's not racist? No, look at me personally. I don't care who's racist. That's your business. I don't support it. I'm not with it. But I'm not. That's not something that I lose sleep about, really, because I don't listen. Like, until you prove to me or you show me otherwise and whatnot, I'm not going to assume that you're an ally unless you make it a point to tell me that. All right. And also, towards the black man, I'm not waiting for someone to come help me. I'm going to work with the men who want to work with me. All right, no matter what color they are, but primarily black, you know what I mean, and the black men around me, and I'm gonna keep doing the work I'm doing. That's another part of what the 6 past commandments is about. It's an unwritten doctrine where we pass on information through word of mouth, you know, and we break down these infinite truths, these complex truths, and into simple 1 to 2 sentence statements so that you can repeat it and say it to anyone and they can pick up that information. So I'm gonna go ahead and share this real quick. I'm gonna try to find the part that I was listening to.
So you will get 70-30. So I said, fine, okay. Yo,
All right, here we go, guys. Fair use.
4 days per week. I said, okay. Said that she would like me to present Auntie Jenny. Now, I have no problem with a King Richards or an Auntie Jenny. However, if we look at the contracts that they signed, you would understand the reason why I use the term colonization and colonial. Now, myself and Pearl sat down to have a conversation, and she expressed to me that she wanted to do a new segment for her show. In that segment, she said that she would like me to present a topical news show on a day-to-day basis. So I said, okay, no problem. Talk to me. What are we talking about? And she said she would want me within her studio 4 days per week. I said, okay, from what time? She said from 10 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening. And I said, okay, well, that is 7 hours. I said, so working 4 to 5 days a week for 7 hours is essentially a day job. I said to her, okay, so what is my guaranteed fee at the end of the month? What is the salary? And she looks at me and she says, we do not do guarantees and we do not do salaries. So I said, so if you don't do guarantees and you don't do salaries, what is it that you actually do? And she said she does percentages. So I said, okay, cool. Well, what's the percentage? She said, Sarah, you're the high end, so you will get 70-30. So I said, fine, okay, let me listen. 70% goes to me and 30% goes to you. Now she looked at me.
It says, silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. She said, "Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids." No, no. You know what's funny is it'd be something very different if Sarah was just starting out. He has no channel. He was someone who came in, who came in during one of the panels. He stuck out from the rest. And he wanted to keep working with him. It'll be way different if we just say, "Oh man, I really like what he was doing." In the episode and everything. Let's go ahead and maybe see where this goes. And even then, to say go build your channel, you can use my facilities. Go build your channel up, and I want to take what.
And she said no. 70% goes to me, Pearl, and 30% goes to me, Sarah Garvey. And that's when I started scratching my head. And I said, hang on a minute. So are you telling me that's a high-end contract for you? And she said, yes. And I said, so are you saying that Just Purdy Things Network has other people on low-end contracts? She said, yes. I said, King Riches and Auntie Jenny? She said, yes. I said, what's the low end? She said, it's 10 to 15%. So essentially, she could be owning 80% of the content, which is basically the monetized views on somebody's channel, and they only take home 15% of the money? She said, yes. I said, Pearl, how long are these contracts for? She said 3 years.
3 years.
So I said, let me get this straight. You want to own me for 3 years to take 70% of my ad revenue, keep me in your studio from 10 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening for 4 to 5 days a week, and you are not guaranteeing me any money.
You got it, Jack.
I said, respectfully, for what reason would I work for your company? She said, because we have a great studio and we have great lighting and we have great editors that will edit your stuff down. Now, I may be a lot of things, but I'm not an idiot. I may be cool, I may be calm, I may be collected, but I'm not a fool. And essentially, the colonial mindset of Pearl has people working on her quote-unquote plantation for absolute pittance, when a year ago, I suggested to her to look into exactly what colonization was, and she acted dumb.
Guys, people say that stuff about me. They say I'm sexist. They say I'm a misogynist. And, I really just like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from. In hindsight, that wasn't smart. And in hindsight, I should have had someone, maybe Sarah Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was, because I certainly was not an expert in any of the stuff that he was talking about.
Now, I grew up in a time where there were brilliant R&B girl groups like TLC, and also brilliant R&B artists like Toni Braxton. They both sold millions and millions and millions of records, but they ended up broke. Why? Contracts. They were signed to contracts that did not favor them. And essentially, what Pearl is trying to do is come back in with the same contracts and do the exact same thing to the manosphere and do the exact same thing to the red pill community.
God damn it.
Why? Because Kevin Samuels left a gap, and Kevin Samuels' fan base was predominantly black men. And Pearl has come in there and attempted to be top of the food chain. I will not be a part of this game, and I will not be a part of this colony. I have always been an independent. If people in the UK who can actually say and watch all of my content can say that I've been around before Pearl even arrived in the UK, what would I look like signing my life away, essentially? 70% of all I own to this woman who just arrived in the UK the other day. She said to me that she's actually looking to sign more talent this year. Good for her. Good for the talent. But I hope they watch this video, and I hope they realize exactly what they will be signing. And I actually hope that this video makes her think about the ways, because essentially I had been with her from the beginning and I had helped grow her channel. And if she could suggest this to me, somebody who helped her grow her channel, then you are nothing to her. I have only given you around 30% of what I know. We haven't even touched on the very odd and weird parties that Pearl likes to invite people to. And I was invited to one last year, and she told me that her manager was coming from America and they were going to have a party. And very interestingly, they said that it was going to be board games. And I said, okay, cool. I don't mind playing Monopoly. I don't mind playing Snakes and Ladders. When I got there and I asked her about the board game, she said, no, a board game. There was a whiteboard in the living room. And what she proposed was that we all have a time on the whiteboard and we do what she says and we talk about certain things which were quite sexual and we put them on the whiteboard. But you know what I saw? I always saw her manager Kobe in the corner filming everything. And we've all spoken amongst ourselves and we've spoken about Hollywood and the things that go down. And within that party, what I saw was if people were on that board doing very sexual things and doing things while they were drunk, that stuff was being recorded. But we'll speak about it another time.
I want to ask the men in here. I want to ask the men in here. Okay. Women, raise your hand if you think women like violence.
Yowza. Yowza. I've never said yowza in my life. Isn't that crazy? So, oh my God. Take it a step further. It ain't looking good for your girl Pearl. All right, so, and listen, shout out to my man Pete Bills. It only gets dirtier, B. So, not only that, this is on his community post a day ago. She went all in. I told you about her, and now she wants to silence me. Okay. Let's see. She has put strikes on multiple videos of his. All right. Let's look over here. Pro just copyright struck my channel. True colors are showing. Now, he is in danger of losing his channel thanks to just Pearly Things. Okay. In danger of losing his channel now. Now, hopefully that doesn't happen to this brother, because that's not, listen, that's somebody who helped you build your platform. And you know what? He's just doing what's right. And I'm really proud of him for stepping up and whatnot. And it's not from a place of hate. He ain't trying to drag her. He ain't say nothing foul about her. He talked about what happened. And actually, this is a very good example of masculine communication. Okay, a masculine communication. He's not making a bunch of videos. He's not going on everyone's platform and talking about it. And if he wanted to, I wouldn't see a problem with that. But again, going back to the colonizer mindset, I'm like, wow, she's really trying to colonize YouTube. So you mean to tell me that you feel as though having someone go on their own channel, make content, and then you own a majority of it, not only that, you want to lock them into multi-year contracts. You're not even saying 6 months to a year. I can see you trying to recoup what you'll be investing. But, and don't get me wrong, if you want to run a studio and people use your studio, I can see you saying, okay, we're going to use my studio. It's this, we're going to bill you this much per hour. Or we can take a percentage of your ad revenue, but it shouldn't be nowhere, no more than maybe 35%. Because at the end of the day, again, it just doesn't make sense. Because that person, that the brand is based on them. There's no YouTube channel where, you know, again, where it's that individual's YouTube channel, people are coming in to see that person. The brand is based on them, all right? And that's just what it is. It's based on them. So, and then to hear that, you know, you're leaving people like Auntie Jenny and King Richards with 10 to 15% of their own ad revenue for their channels is crazy. Like, that will only make sense if that channel was making $100,000 a month. None of these channels are going to make that much. So if they make $10,000 a month, right, that would mean that they would get $1,000 a month from making $10,000 a month. If they made $20,000 a month, and so on and so forth. How do you think that's fair? And how does that look? I mean, now again, I don't even know what's the point of you bringing up the nationality to people who work for you. But since you want to do that, that doesn't make you seem like you're a supporter. Now, when you talk about employing people, it's not just giving someone a job. The idea is that I'm giving them a job where they are thriving. The people who work for me are thriving. And I'm like, it also, again, don't look good when you make it a point to say, hey, listen, I employ blacks. I employ Africans. I paid them very well. You don't knock it off. Knock that off, man. Goodness gracious. You know, and to see that you also trying to destroy the man for speaking out, you know, and telling the truth. I saw so cliche saying that, but at the same time, it's like, yo, this look bad, beloved. Looks really bad. So I don't know, man. I guess this might be out. I can't say it's the end of just probably things, but I mean, I was already not really watching like that. But I have even more incentive to not watch this. All what you have to do is you have to shape up and actually do a real apology and show people that, yo, I'm not with that. You know, I'm not with none of that stuff. You know, and because again, more and more, it's looking like you were a reject of the white manosphere and a reject of the white right wing or white alt-right movement and whatnot. And I get it. Maybe all this is in you pursuing getting clicks and views. All right, whatever. But at what cost, Pearl? At what cost? Since we call her the female Jerry Springer, I'm gonna sign off with this. Take care of yourselves and each other. It's a 6 Pass Command.